Hello world, it's April 9, 2026. Welcome to a new edition of Cyber Briefing by Cybermaterial. Cyber Alerts, brought to you by 911 Cyber. Kubernetes misconfigurations exploited. Kubernetes, a popular platform for managing containerized applications, is being targeted by threat actors exploiting misconfigurations to breach cloud accounts. These attacks, which have surged by 282% in the past year, primarily affect the information technology sector and involve stealing service account tokens to gain unauthorized access to cloud infrastructure. To mitigate these threats, organizations should enforce strict access controls, replace long-lived tokens with short-lived ones, and implement runtime monitoring and audit logging to detect suspicious activities early. Fake Gemini NPM package attack. A malicious NPM package named Gemini AI Checker was published targeting developers using AI coding tools by masquerading as a utility for verifying Google Gemini AI tokens. This package, along with two others, was designed to steal credentials, files, and tokens from AI environments, affecting tools like Cursor, Claude, and Agent AI. Developers should scrutinize NPM packages for inconsistencies, monitor outbound connections to Vercel-hosted domains, which this malware uses for command and control communication, and report suspicious packages to prevent further exploitation. Iranian APT exploits PLCs in U.S. Iranian advanced persistent threat actors are exploiting internet-facing operational technology devices, specifically targeting programmable logic controllers made by Rockwell Automation/Allen Bradley. This has resulted in disruptions across various critical infrastructure sectors in the United States. Organizations using these devices should immediately review their security measures and apply any available patches or updates to mitigate the threat. Cyber incidents, brought to you by 911 Cyber. Eurail data breach exposes 300,000. Eurail, a popular train pass service, has suffered a data breach affecting approximately 300,000 customers. The breach exposed sensitive customer information, including names, email addresses, and travel details. Customers are advised to monitor their accounts for suspicious activity and change their passwords as a precautionary measure. Ransomware attack on Chipsoft. Chipsoft, a major provider of healthcare systems to Dutch hospitals, has been targeted by a ransomware attack, potentially compromising patient data. While some hospitals report no impact or data breaches, the full extent of the attack remains unclear. Healthcare institutions are advised to disconnect from Chipsoft's VPN and monitor network traffic to mitigate risks. Minnesota activates Guard after cyber attack. Governor Tim Walz signed an executive order on Tuesday to deploy emergency aid to Winona County after a major cyber attack crippled local infrastructure. The order authorizes the Minnesota National Guard to provide technical support and ensure the continued delivery of essential public services. Cyber news, brought to you by 911 Cyber. OpenAI plans phased model rollout. OpenAI is preparing to launch a new model featuring sophisticated cybersecurity tools, though it will initially be restricted to a select group of corporate partners. This cautious approach mirrors recent strategies by competitors like Anthropic and highlights a growing concern among developers regarding the potential misuse of high-level AI. Iran-linked hackers likely to continue. Tehran-aligned hackers have warned that the current ceasefire between Iran, the United States, and Israel will not halt their retaliatory cyber operations. American security experts advise that critical infrastructure and private organizations should remain on high alert as these digital groups shift their focus towards long-term infiltration. Microsoft suspends open-source accounts. Microsoft has abruptly suspended the developer accounts for open-source security projects Veracrypt and WireGuard, preventing them from signing drivers or issuing updates to Windows users. The developers report that these blocks occurred without any prior warning or explanation, disrupting critical security maintenance for millions of people. Cyber tip of the day. Watch out for Gemini supply chain snakes. This attack uses a malicious NPM package called Gemini AI Checker to pose as a legitimate token verification tool while secretly installing a backdoor. It specifically targets developers using AI tools like Cursor and Claude to steal sensitive API keys, source code, and personal credentials. What to do? Audit before you install. Check the package's README and GitHub repository for inconsistencies. In this case, the attacker lazily copied documentation from an unrelated library. Verify package metadata. Look for typo squatting or suspicious publisher names like Gemini Check that don't match the official organization. Monitor network traffic. Set up alerts for unexpected outbound connections to Vercel-hosted domains, which this malware uses for command and control communication. Use lock files and scanners. Always use package-lock.json and run NTM audit or tools like SNCC to catch known malicious patterns before they hit your production environment. Why it matters. By infiltrating your development environment, this malware gains access to your most crown jewel assets, including proprietary source code and expensive AI API tokens. Because the payload executes directly in memory, it often bypasses traditional antivirus software, making proactive human scrutiny your most effective line of defense. Cyber Book of the Day. Not with a bug, but with a sticker. Attacks on ML Systems by Ram Shankar Sivakumar and Hiram Anderson. In Not with a Bug, but with a Sticker, Attacks on Machine Learning Systems and What to Do About Them, a team of distinguished adversarial machine learning researchers deliver a riveting account of the most significant risk to currently deployed artificial intelligence systems, cybersecurity threats. The authors take you on a sweeping tour from inside secretive government organizations to academic workshops at ski chalets to Google's cafeteria, recounting how major AI systems remain vulnerable to the exploits of bad actors of all stripes. Cyber stocks. Cybersecurity stocks were mixed to higher on Thursday, April 9, 2026, as the sector's largest platform providers extended their recovery. Despite a general softening in mid-cap tech, the top-tier Big Three saw continued institutional accumulation, further cementing the market's preference for broad-scale security ecosystems over standalone tools. Market summary. The primary trend today is the widening performance gap. While enterprise-scale platforms are reclaiming their early-year highs, niche vendors continue to struggle with valuation resets and slowing demand for non-integrated solutions. Platform breakout. Palo Alto Networks, PANW, and CrowdStrike, CRWD, finished the session in a dead heat, up 4.69% and 4.53% respectively for the period. The near-identical gains suggest that investors are viewing these as the primary beneficiaries of the current consolidation trend. Identity resilience. Okta, OKTA, remains a core holding for defensive portfolios, finishing at 13.77%. While it trailed the breakout seen in endpoint and network security, it continues to hold its technical support levels firmly. Vulnerability management woes. Rapid7, RPD, faced fresh selling pressure, trading down negative 6.15% on the day to finish at negative 49.33% for the period. The stock hit a daily low of $5.40, as market sentiment remains bearish on legacy vulnerability management players that have yet to prove their platform-first transition. Key insight. We are witnessing a consolidation of power. Today's plus 4.5 moves in PANW and CRWD suggest that platformization is no longer just a marketing term, but a realized market reality. For the briefing audience, this confirms that the SaaS sprawl era is officially over. The market is now aggressively betting on the few giants capable of providing a single AI-driven glass pane for the entire security stack. For more headlines, visit cybermaterial.com.